Taking a full look at weather now, Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Dan Cainca joining us now. Hey, Dan.
Hey there, Veronica. We locally here have been experiencing some interesting weather over the last month or so, of course. If you recall, the beginning of September, we had quite the heat wave, which transitioned to some tropical feeling weather, then some very early season rains that arrived. But let's look back at the month of September and talk about some temperatures, because we have some interesting numbers to tell you about tonight as we look at some of our climate sites. Usually it takes me a couple of days to get this information up, because some of our climate sites like the Watsonville Waterworks don't report until the very end of the month, sometimes into the next month. So I like to give you as full of perspective as I can. But take a look at some of these numbers. So what we're looking at here are average temperatures for the month and comparing them to a normal value. And these normal values are adjusted every 30 years or adjusted every 10 years, looking at the previous 30 years. So we just had that adjustment over the last in 2020. So basically that's when these numbers were last updated. So what we're looking at here for Salinas, for example, is an average temperature during the month of September of 70.1 degrees. That's all the highs and lows of the month added together and averaged out. Normally it should be around 64.2, so we ended up about 6 degrees above normal. That is a very large number. Typically, if we see some variation, it's within a degree or two. Monterey, for example, only about 1.5 degrees above normal. Watsonville, though, 3 degrees above normal. Gilroy, 7 degrees above normal or so. King City, 4 degrees above normal. And Big Sur, about 5 degrees above normal. So all of us were hot. It wasn't just our highs, it was our lows as well. And again, that heat wave we saw at the beginning of the month was a big contributor to this. But even later in the month when we had some rain, it wasn't cold necessarily. So we ended up with these very warm temperatures. So how does that stack up? Well, let's talk about some bigger numbers here and compare Septembers of the past. Gilroy and King City recorded their warmest Septembers on record this year. That's compared to all the years back, in some cases running back 50, 60, 70 years. Salinas, the second warmest, behind 1983. So even with that 6 point whatever above normal, it was only the second warmest in Salinas. So if it felt warm in September to you, that's why. I mean, we were very warm, certainly. Now things have been changing a little bit. We've been more seasonable over the last few days. And out there tonight, we do have some low clouds on the south side of the bay. There is some drier air sneaking in from the north. It initially looked like we were going to fill in pretty quickly around the bay tonight, but that may not happen. Monterey, you're going to see those low clouds staying around, but Santa Cruz, it may take some time for you to see the low clouds tonight. So we'll start things off mostly clear. Last couple of days have been very clear, and one of the reasons is we've had this big area of dry air that moved in from the north. It is now moving to our south. It's this reddish, rusty orange color, and that continues to move into Mexico. So we're not seeing the dry air mixing on the top of our marine layer as much. So with that said, we've seen the return of low clouds today, and they'll probably be back for the next couple of days as well on the coast. So if you missed them, they're back, and they'll be back for a few days. So we look at our bigger area of low pressure to the north is going to be moving well off to our north, the bigger pattern showing somewhat of a blocked pattern with high pressure to our south. It's never really going to get all that much closer. It will influence our weather a little bit here over the next couple of days and will continue to do so, but it's not going to sit overhead causing us any heat. So that is some good news. But in the meantime, we'll experience more seasonable weather. So as we look at Futurecast overnight, low clouds slow to fill back into the north side of the bay, but they should do so eventually, I think. And as we wake up tomorrow morning, I do think we'll see some low clouds returning to some of our lower valley locations. So we'll wake up to mostly cloudy skies for most cities tomorrow morning. And then during the afternoon tomorrow, we'll start to clear out on the north side of the bay first, and then we'll hold on to some low clouds on the south and east sides of the bay like we did today. And again, that could be keeping our temperatures down a little bit. Let's take a look at some temperatures. Speaking of that, we're going to start things off in Santa Cruz County tomorrow. We'll get you to the Santa Cruz Mountains. Most coastal areas will be a little bit, will be pretty close to what we had today, but inland areas should be a little bit warmer. 91 in Ben Lomond tomorrow, 89 in Boulder Creek, mid-80s in Felton and Scotts Valley, and 70s down along the coast. We'll top out at 78 in Santa Cruz. On the east shore of the bay, you're going to see highs mainly in the upper 60s in Castroville Marina, but 70s in Watsonville, mid-70s also in Salinas, and maybe some upper 80s as we head up toward Gilroy and Hollister. We're warm in those northern valleys. Over to the Monterey Peninsula, you'll see highs mostly in the 60s, and again, a few low clouds will be hanging around for you at 68 in Monterey and 68 in Seaside. And then farther south, we will see high temperatures in the 70s and 80s, but a few spots reaching the 90s. San Antonio Valley, for example, at 94, and Bradley at 93 tomorrow. Let's look at the next 7 days. Temperatures on the coast staying pretty consistent, even with those low clouds, a little more common over the next couple of days. But this weekend, I think temperatures are going to cool down a bit. and we'll probably see an increase in those low clouds. One of the reasons is we'll have a cooler system coming in from the north, and it's going to be bringing much cooler air across much of the western United States, it looks like. So I think we'll see some deeper onshore flow because of that, and that'll keep our coastal temperatures down. Inland areas will also cool down quite a bit, I think, by that time. But the next couple days looking pretty warm. Inland highs will be above normal. And Veronica, I'm not seeing any chance of rain in the forecast.